Good afternoon, folks. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 offensive coordinator candidates for our beloved Detroit Lions, as John Morton at some point will be on his way out. So this video, we're going to be breaking it all down. Now, my top 5, it's just 5. It's in no particular order. Not one better than the other. Many different reasons why you'd pick selected coaches. We're going to get into it. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to light up an M80 and hold it in your hand without letting go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because we talk all things Detroit Lions, news and rumors, and sometimes being a Lions fan, you can get blown up. Also, take that like button with you and let that bad boy get incinerated. Let's get into today's Lions top 5 OC candidates. Make no mistake about it, this is a massive offseason. Dan Campbell spoke to the media, and he said he has a lot of time and decisions to make with his coaching staff. He's going to take a couple days to think about it, but the Lions will be looking for a new person to make some plays here. And when, not if, they decide to remove John Morton for play caller. So he could still be on the team, but he wouldn't be OC. He'd be taking a demotion. But when they move him from play caller, the Lions going to need somebody else, and that's what's going to be happening this offseason, and looking for that play caller. Now, here is my list again, no particular order. My first one that I have here is Brian DaBoll, former head coach of the New York Giants. And since taking over for the Giants when he was over there, he was 17-22-1 with a winning percentage of .438. His first season in New York was his best, and then it went down. Now, when it comes to Brian DaBoll, he is a guy that has been in the game for a very long time, and he actually got his biggest notoriety not as head coach of the New York Giants, but as the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. That's where he gets his notoriety. That's where he's done a phenomenal job when he had Josh Allen. You look at his record here as a coach in the NFL, a long time as OC, tight ends, OC, and head coach. He has experience. He has done it before at a high level. In his best time as OC was when he was with the Bills. Who do you want the Detroit Lions to have as offensive coordinator? Name one person in the comments below. Look, he's a good one, but there is more coordinator candidates that the Detroit Lions could look at. And one is a coach who is just released. And that's Kevin Stefanski, offensive coordinator, formerly head coach of the Browns. And he has a ton, the most experience in the NFL in regards to of his record. And it's a big record. Here it is. Look at this. We're talking about since 2006, he has been doing his thing, and he's had phenomenal time as head coach too, and quarterbacks coach, offensive guy, offensive guru. Now, look, in Cleveland, it's Cleveland. It's hard to take anything away from there. And again, he was head coach. From here, he'd be OC, and he was a great OC, especially when he was with the Vikings, and he spent a lot of time there. So I think that would be another option for Detroit. But when it comes to Stefanski, huge chance he's going to become a head coach of another team. There's already multiple openings. I believe he's already got 3 interviews requested at this moment to become a head coach of a team. A lot of people are just kind of looking past Cleveland because Cleveland sucks. There's not that great head coaching candidates out there at this moment. So folks like Brian DaBoll, who we spoke about earlier, and Kevin Stefanski, former head coaches. You can even have a Mike McCarthy in there. I didn't put him on this list. But formers that were potentially going to be getting a job, right? They go from one head coaching to another because they're generally a good coach. And Stefanski is regarded as a really good offensive mind, and that's why he's probably going to get a head coaching job. But I still wanted to put him on this list because why not? Like, he's on the market. Maybe you want to throw him some money. We've done that with Ben Johnson, right? We've done it with Ben Johnson. We could throw some of these guys some money if they're really wanting to get a former head coach is the Lions' new OC. They're going to have to fork out money. They would have to be aggressive to do that. Right? Because these guys are going to be sought after. But we have done it before, and if they want to fix a problem in offense, you could have a former coach, former head coach, people with experience. So, question for you. Who do you want as Lions OC? Name anyone in the comments below. Next coordinator on my list is an intriguing one that was let go as a coordinator from the Washington Commanders, and that's Kliff Kingsbury. Now, I actually like Kliff Kingsbury, but he is a offense that is definitely having the mobile quarterback, right? He is the guy that wants these quarterbacks to be running around, but he is a smart and offensive mind, right? He's a smart offensive mind. He's a guy that can, put Jared Goff in the right position, to put the offense in the right position, even though Jared Goff's not that mobile quarterback. He is a really good mind still on offense. He was head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He had a pretty good offense over there as head coach. He had a good offense over there for the Washington Commanders. Just a lot of injuries there. He's a really good offensive mind. I think this would be the least likely on my list because he's probably looking for an opportunity to be OC of a mobile quarterback. A quarterback that is a dual threat. Because that's what he has been known for. Right? Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, mobile quarterbacks, but just because he's done that before doesn't mean he can't adjust to a quarterback like Jared Goff. He's going to be very sought after. I don't think the Lions get him, but I have to put him on this list because he's a damn good coach. So if I don't, I feel like I'm, hurting my own fan base here. So next coach on my list, now we're going to get into not OCs before, but familiar with this football team, and that's JT Barrett. He's actually the quarterbacks coach of the Chicago Bears. He was with the Detroit Lions for multiple years, right? Why would the Lions go for this? Well, per Jonathan Jones from ESPN, league sources believe that Dan Campbell will be in the market for a new offensive coordinator this year. Perhaps he pulls from Johnson's staff 1 year after Johnson's took from Detroit. Press Taylor also been revitalized in Chicago and pass game coordinator in his first major role with Doug Peterson as head coach. JT Barrett, the former Ohio State quarterback, has been working his way up the coaching ladder in the past few years, and the Bears quarterbacks coach will likely get OC interviews this cycle. Former coach was with the Detroit Lions staff, so they know him, familiar with Jared Goff. If you're looking for a new OC without experience, this one does make sense for Detroit. He has worked with Brunell, Goff, Dan Campbell, Hank Fraley, all of them. So he is familiar with this system. He's familiar with Detroit. He's familiar with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell knows you'd be a Dan Campbell type of coach, right? He's already been here. So if they're wanting to go former player, new OC, this is an option for the Lions outside of the organization. And look, I'm the type of guy that I am looking for a proven guy. I'm looking for an individual that's done it before, but that's me. I am not Dan Campbell, so he may be going for a JT Barrett type of player. If you love the Detroit Lions, smash that like button. Why is that? Well, because, I don't know, maybe we get to 300 likes, and it's cool to smash that like button. All right, the final player that I have on my, or the final coach that I have on my list here is Lions offensive line coach Hank Fraley. This guy is already had opportunities to be OC. He got interviewed last year, Seattle Seahawks, and he is a hell of a damn good offensive line coach. He is. We know him. He's great. Right? He's done a phenomenal job. And he's going to be sought after. So if other teams are going to be looking at Hank Fraley, why wouldn't the Detroit Lions, who's already here, very familiar with everything we're doing here, and if Dan Campbell does decide, you know what, I want to do play calling, he says, then you would get an offensive coordinator who can do everything else but not call plays. Hank Fraley could be one of those guys, but that is also depending on, does even Hank Fraley want to be an offensive coordinator? Does he? I don't know. You know, he turned the one down in Seattle, but that is something that he, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, in this regime will have to talk it over with each other. Because we don't want to lose a Hank Fraley. He is a good offensive line coach. And there's plenty of options for the Lions here where they want to go, and there's more. There's more coaches. This is just the top 5 that I identified that the Lions should look to target, that I feel like they would help out the Lions offense significant. That's what I would believe. That's what I would think. What do you guys think? Again, I want you guys to blow up the comments today with who you want as OC. What do you want to see from this position? With that said, folks, adios.